So greetings and welcome back to the studio of Wild Treasures of an Outdoorsman. My name is Peter Updike, and today we're talking about the Church Lake unit of the Ocala National Forest. Like many of my subscribers hunt specifically in the Ocala National Forest, and they hunt in the Hopkins Prairie unit, or they dog hunt down in the Pipeline unit, or they still hunt down in the Pipeline unit because that's the biggest area and most obvious of places, right? But on the western side of the Ocala National Forest is that smaller unit called the Church Lake unit, and many times maybe you've wondered about hunting it. And we're thinking about hunting season. We're in the upside of our summer, and for Florida summer, we're still in spring, but it's not even June yet, and I'm resisting the temptation of going out in the woods and walking around aimlessly and looking at deer tracks, pretending that what I'm doing is going to matter for this hunting season. It's hot, yellow flies and ticks are out. Yeah, it takes a special person, and really now's the time when you should be scouting. Finding scrapes and finding rubs from the previous year is a window into the area. If you go into an area, and I'll be honest with you, last week I drove up. Now, I am interested in the Church Lake unit of the Ocala National Forest because I am going to be, this August, an exempt hunter. What's that mean? It means that I won't have to have a quota permit to hunt that. And it's very close to my home. And you've heard me preach and say that you need to be hunting the area closest to your home and learn about that area, regardless of what your mind may tell you about that spot. It may say, you know, this gets too much hunting pressure. The Jeep Club uses that area. There's too many butterfly watchers, and on and on and on it goes. There's a million reasons not to hunt, right? But the hunter that finds that one spot, that finds that one reason to get out there and hammer it week after week after week. I heard a television celebrity the other day use the term weekend warriors in a derogatory way. You weekend hunters, weekend warriors is what he said. And I thought, who is he talking to? Only 95% of the people that watch his idiotic show, right, are, by his definition, weekend warriors. Is he trying to make friends here? I don't know. I don't understand. I'm a weekend warrior because I work for a living like many of you do. And we hunt only on the weekends sometimes. Maybe we take some time off. But yeah, there's a lot of negativity out there when it comes to hunting and what we do and who we are. And we let that creep into our mindset. And it develops in us a negative feeling. We don't have the enthusiasm because of what somebody said or what somebody's perception is about a spot. And if I had listened to all the negativity around me about Florida hunting, about public land hunting, about how the deer are this or deer are that, they're too small, right? Or I don't ever see anything. On and on and on it goes. Yeah. So my point is, hunt close to home, the place that you can hunt the most. Hours in the stand. If you see rubs and you see scrapes and you see tracks, you have found yourself deer. And whether you see them or not depends on a lot of circumstances, like the behavior of the deer, whether or not they're nocturnal, how much hunting pressure there is. You need to navigate around those issues. If they're nocturnal, then you need to be hunting till dark, right? If they get up and move in the middle of the day when everybody's at home watching a football game, well, that's when you need to be in your stand. So all of these things need to be thought about. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm thinking about the season in the Church Lake unit. How am I going to approach it? Because all right, so here's the Church Lake unit. Here's a rundown. It's in the Ocala National Forest. It's on the western side of the Ocala National Forest. It borders, in some spots, all the way to the Ocala River. And it also borders what's known as the prairie. What is the name of that prairie? There's two sections. There's one section that's below. It's the Ocala Prairie. All right. There's a section below Highway 40, and there's a section above Highway 40. And there's a lot of space. But issue is that much of that property, or public land, we'll say, is mixed in with private. And you'll need to invest yourself and find out where the private and the public meet, and when you can hunt it and when you can't hunt it, and on and on and on it goes. I've got the brochure here on the computer. I don't know if I show it to you or not, because we're going to look at it real quick. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So here's a list of the hunts. Quota permit information. We got a muzzleloader hunt. We got general gun, general dog hunt, general gun still hunt. We got a youth hunt for turkeys and a spring gobbler hunt. And this is all of the Ocala National Forest, but you'll see here it says Church Lake Unit. And down here it says Church Lake Unit. And then Church Lake Unit. So they're being specific here, all right? Muzzle loading gun, Church Lake Unit. There's 250 no-cost quota permits required. And then there are, for the Church Lake Unit, 250 for the dog hunt season and for the still hunt season. And then we'll need to scroll down here. And you'll see here there's an archery season. We're going to click on that for a minute. And it says here that hunting license, management area permit, archery permit, deer permit. It does not require a quota permit to hunt in the Church Lake Unit or any other unit of the Ocala National Forest. This is talking about the whole Ocala. Now, when it's talking about Church Lake Unit, it will be specific, and we'll show that here in a minute. But right here, as this is, you can hunt the Ocala National Forest in its entirety, except in places where you can't hunt. Where is that? The bombing range. You don't want to hunt in the bombing range. You don't want to hunt in Juniper Prairie. That's closed to hunting. You don't want to hunt in Billy's Bay. That's closed to hunting. Okay? And that's the Alexander Springs Wilderness Area. You can't hunt there either. So let's see. So legal to take 3 points on one side or a 10-inch main beam. And that's archery. So let's move down to muzzleloader. Okay, this is where it gets interesting for me and possibly for you. Church Lake Unit is mentioned in this description. October 24th through 26th. Hopkins Prairie, Lake Delancey, and Church Lake units. Now, what does that imply? It implies that you cannot muzzleload hunt in the pipeline unit. It isn't mentioning it, but it's not listed. So if it's not mentioned and it's not listed, you can't hunt it. So muzzleloader season is open only for the Hopkins Prairie, Lake Delancey, and Church Lake unit. All right, permit, stamp, and lance requirement. Quota permit if hunting the Church Lake unit. Okay, so quota permit for the Church Lake unit and Church Lake unit only. Hopkins Prairie and Lake Delancey, you do not need a quota permit to muzzleloader hunt during these dates, those 3 days. But you do need one to hunt the Church Lake unit. And legal to take is the same. General gun, quota permit, hunting the pipeline unit, okay? And November 8th, pipeline unit, Lake Delancey, Hopkins Prairie unit. All right, so there you see that's being listed. And then here you've got general gun, Church Lake unit is specific. All right, permit and stamp requirements. Quota permit for the dog hunt. Quota permit for the still hunt. Legal to take is all the same. But if we scroll back up here, you'll see that the word exemptions appears right here. That's for the turkey hunts, right? That's for the turkey hunts, and that there are no exemptions. What's an exemption? It's what I'm going to be in the month of August. I'm going to be exempt from needing a quota permit to hunt Church Lake unit. I'm going to be able to hunt it without a quota permit because I'll be of age. I'll be exempt. But I won't be able to hunt The turkey hunt, there's no exemptions for the turkey hunt, but it doesn't list it in the muzzleloader hunt, it doesn't list it in the gun hunt, and it doesn't list it in the dog hunt. So I'm being led to believe by this, and this is the up-to-date rules for the 25-26 season, that I'll be able to hunt in the Church Lake unit without a quota permit because I'll be 65. So yeah, I've always preached to you guys, hunt close to home. I can be in the Church Lake unit in about 35 minutes. If I've got a stand set up there, yeah, that's easy in, easy out, easy breezy. But again, the Church Lake unit comes with all kinds of challenges. What are those challenges? Well, number one, we already mentioned that it's broken up. If you look at the map, there are areas in there that are private, and it's kind of like a checkerboard. There's going to be all these different boundary lines. I drove up there last week, and I did some walking around, and I also did a lot of driving on the hard road, just driving down the hard road, looking for roads that have access, looking for roads with the brown signs with the numbers on them. Those are legal to drive on. And then looking for roads that don't have those brown signs with the numbers on them. Those are illegal to drive on. Now, I came home, and I went in, and I did not see a whole lot. Now, in all fairness, I scouted south of Highway 40, near the Ocala Prairie Preserve area, right? And again, the Church Lake unit comes right up to it, and boundaries many of that. There's a little area in there. People bring their dogs and play, and I play with their dogs. It's fenced in and whatnot. I pulled in there. There was a fella in there with his dogs, and I stopped and talked to him a little bit. Found out he lived right there in Ocala, and he comes there often. He told me he sees a lot of deer crossing the road, jumping in front of his vehicle, and he's driving down that clay road where the prairie entrance is, and he comes there all the time. And I did not see a whole lot of tracks, and I got off on a couple of little numbered roads there with my pickup truck and drove down them and drove all the way through to the other side and back again and around, and then I stopped and I did some walking, and then I came home. I got on my computer and I looked on the aerial map to see where I went, and I went online on U.S. Forest Service website, and I went to their maps, and I downloaded their map, and this map shows numbered roads, and it also shows closed roads that you're not allowed to drive on. And yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be hunting south of 40. To be honest with you, I did not find any sign there from the previous year. Obviously, I'm not going to find any fresh sign because it's the middle of summer, right? But I should be able to see old scrapes, and I should be able to see old rubs. And I did not find any. I walked for probably, I don't know, 4 hours around, just casually walking along tree lines anywhere I could find a little fire break or trail, and just meander around and just, I saw tracks and I saw a few little rubs, but not too many. And I've got spots marked on my GPS for north of 40 near Lake Charles that have lots of scrapes, lots of rubs that I've been there in the past. I've got trees marked already. So I think probably we're talking about muzzleloader season. Okay, if I don't get a quota permit for the management area that I applied for, and I have to go for points, I want to do something with my muzzleloader hunt that's going to be different. And I chose to do this because it won't cost any points on my quota permit. So yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to save up my points. So if I don't get drawn for the muzzleloader hunt of my choice, this is going to be my option, one of my options. And I'm also researching all these other management areas to find out which ones I can go to, because if I finagle it right, like Gothi, I can go to Gothi without being exempt for a muzzleloader hunt, and I can hunt Gothi, and the date is different. So that actually gives me 2 weekends of muzzleloader hunt. I might have to sacrifice an archery hunt, but yeah, that's okay. And there's a couple more in here. Potts. I can go to Potts and muzzleloader hunt with my exemption. And Richland, funny thing, Richland doesn't have a muzzleloader hunt. I'm not sure why, but they don't. Croom is also on the table. I can do a muzzleloader hunt in Croom. I won't need a quota permit for that. Quota permit is required, but not if you're an exempt hunter like me. So, yeah, checking the date on that one too. But again, getting back to the Church Lake unit, there are areas in there that are large. There's two sections. One section below Highway 40, which is very large. It would take you a lifetime to scout it out, find out what's there. And then north of that, and there's a portion there that goes all the way to the Ocala. I don't know if at this point in my life I'm really, adventurous enough to go. It would be a long way, and I was looking at the aerial photos of it, and yeah, there's big, beautiful swamp in there, and I'd love to be able to get in there, but the fact of the matter is I probably won't be alone. There'll be people coming in there to hunt off the river. And those are things you need to think about when you're hunting public land. If you're hunting on a numbered road, there are going to be people driving by on Jeeps, and I don't bash them. I don't bash them for wanting to drive around in the woods. It's a fun thing to do. And with the motorcycles and the ATVs and all that, where it's legal, I make note of where those people are going to be, so I'm not there. I found one spot that was just off the hard road. You just pull off the hard road. And I found a little access. It wasn't even a trail, just an access. And then the thing kind of went along the edge of a bayhead and went all the way up in there. When I came home and looked at it, I thought, wow, that's a pretty good spot. But I did not see any rubs in there. I really expected to see along the edge of that big bayhead, there was pine and palmetto on the south side, and on the north side and I walked all the way back there. Some of that stuff was head high, and I got through the other side and it opened up pretty nice, but I did not see any rubs in there. And I just can't bring myself to hunt, even if a guy tells me, yeah, I see deer here all the time. And I'm going to go back up to Lake Charles if push comes to shove, and that's where I'm going to go. I found a spot up there. I don't know, it was 5 years ago. It looked like two bucks had been fighting in there, and that's hard to turn out. I hunted it, and I never saw a deer. I hunted it 2 days, and I had a quota permit then, and that was probably about 6 years ago, probably 6 seasons ago. I had not been back since, but I still got that location marked on my GPS, so I can go back to it for sure and see what's up when I go back. But if you live now, if you're thinking about applying for the Church Lake unit, I would advise you that there are better options. I would advise you, all the years that I've hunted in Ocala and Hopkins Prairie and in the pipeline unit and over at Church Lake, I have really seen no difference between the Church Lake unit and Hopkins Prairie other than the habitat. Habitat's a little different. You get up into Hopkins Prairie, you're in scrub, right? But man, I see so much sign up there where I'm hunting. Deer tracks everywhere. Why? Why would I go someplace where I wasn't seeing any deer tracks? Just because I had a quota permit, right? But I don't need a quota permit, so I'm entertaining all of this, and I'm passing on the information to you. If you're thinking about applying for the Church Lake unit and you live nearby, and you say, well, I can hunt it because I live near there, I can invest myself in doing it, well, then you got the green light from me. But if you live 2 hours away and you're thinking, well, I'm going to apply for the Church Lake unit because it's limited hunting, maybe it'll be better. And you apply and you get drawn and you might be disappointed because you can hunt right there in Hopkins Prairie and not burn one of your points. I'd much rather see you apply for Gore's Landing, which is just across the river, or save up your points and go to Silver Springs, which might take a while, right? It might take a long time, but it's all very close. It's all the same habitat. It's all the same, very close. And I don't fall into the hysteria of a spot because the first season people killed a lot of deer in there. A lot of 8 points were killed in there. And all of a sudden it becomes this thing, right, that people always applying for, and it takes 10 years to get drawn for a 3-day hunt. No, I'm not about that. But I will wait 3 or 4 years and to get where I want to go. But in the meantime, I'm going to do this because, I'm sharpening my skills. I'm learning as I go. I don't want to sacrifice my hunting season waiting for another hunt. I don't want to build up points, right, in hopes of going hunting here and not hunting at home. When I have a place here, and just because somebody said, nobody's ever killed anything in there. Deer are too small. I wouldn't waste my time. That's not me. I'm going to waste my time. I'm going to waste my time in them woods because that's where I want to be. I want to discover what it is about that place that makes it so difficult to hunt. And I'm going to kill me a big buck one day. And when I do, everybody will go, they'll all be in there wanting to go hunting. And they won't see the fact. If the people come into my house here and they see all the deer heads and they want to know, when are you going to take me hunting? I want to kill me a deer like that. And they don't realize it took decades, week after week after week, being that quote-unquote weekend warrior. Yeah, shame on that guy for saying that. Yeah. All right. Well, love you guys. I hope this helped you in your decisions on where you're going to hunt and saving up your quota permit points and trying to make a play for an area. If you live near the Church Lake unit and you want to apply, I think that would be a good idea. But if you live far, far away and you're thinking maybe I can apply for that and get drawn, and then you do all that driving, and then you're driving past other areas you could be hunting, and you think because a quota permit is required that it's going to be this great hunt, you're wrong. That's just not the way it works. So we'll get into that another time. But Church Lake unit, check it out. It's found in the brochure of the Ocala National Forest, and there's deer in there. But I'm not going to hunt south of 40. I'm going to hunt north of 40 if I don't get drawn for the hunt of my choice from a muzzleloader. All right. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye.